Hello everybody, today we're going to talk about the Luna crash. Why does Luna affect UST? Why does UST affect Luna? What's the problem with algorithmic stablecoins? Why should you care in all of this? Find out today on Blockchain Trends. Before we start today's video, I'd like to talk about all of the suicides that have been caused by this Luna crash. It's been truly awful that reported there have been 8 suicides because of this Luna crash. If you're thinking about suicide because of the crash, please consult the suicide hotline and please wait for further guidance from the Terra Luna team. As of right now, we don't know what direction they're going to go in, but as far as we know, that you will be compensated in some way. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. This video is going to be a little different because we actually pre-recorded a segment on Luna live on our Telegram. And if you want to see that, the link should be down below. So basically what we went over is how Luna works and some conspiracies behind it. This will be displayed now.
This is how we roll, boys and girls. Now, today we're talking about the actual Luna UST pairing that we are still unaware of, but we know has completely changed a lot of people's lives. I guess there are a couple theories itself based on the BlackRock Citadel theory, among others. So the question is, why get wrecked? What do you think, Dragon?
Well, I wouldn't trade Luna ever, unless you want to lose your money. I mean, they just stopped minting, but they minted, quite a bit of supply, over 100% of their supply, tanking the price, and a lot of retail investors had no idea how Luna works, and they just kept getting wrecked and wrecked and wrecked. And they just 2 days ago, at the time of speaking, shut off the minting protocol. So there is a small chance to get your games back, but all of the recovery plans include having a fork of Luna, thus invalidating any trade that you make right now.
Do this real quick. Can you explain the tokenomics of Luna in layman's terms? So they actually mint Luna, right?
Yeah, so essentially they have like a buy and burn mechanism, or a mint and burn mechanism for Luna, where they kind of work with each other, where Luna basically powers this algorithmic stablecoin called UST, where it mints and burns depending on the volume of UST, and UST also mints and burns to reflect that and to get it back to its peg. So as UST gets more popular, Luna can be burnt. But if UST were to suffer a dip on its peg, then Luna has to mint. And because of this, Luna was caught in a death spiral because UST could not get back to its peg. So it was forever minting and causing the price to crash.
So were these scammers, outsiders, whoever thought of this, were they actually buying Luna, or were they buying UST whenever you think this occurred? Were they actually buying Luna minting UST, buying Luna minting Luna, and then also minting UST at the same time? Is that how that works, or do you buy UST and then it mints Luna?
It all depends on the peg, right? So if the peg goes down, Luna gets minted to overcome the downtrend of UST. If UST goes too high, then Luna's burned to make up for it. So because Luna powers UST.
So it's not the other way around.
And vice versa. Yeah.
Okay. So they both work in cohesion with each other, and UST is supposed to be something that is pegged to 1.0 which is 1.00. That is its peg. I don't know the time frame that they're supposed to peg each other. And then Luna itself is an asset that can appreciate and depreciate in value. Doesn't matter what's going on. But UST itself, which also powers Luna or vice versa, is supposed to be pegged to the dollar, correct?
That's correct. And of course, it's much more complicated than that with different pools on Terra Labs, but that's basically how it works. But there is liquid collateral that they can take out to also help with UST's peg.
Correct. And see, and this is where a lot of things come into play. And like whenever I'm questioning a protocol or I'm looking at X's or I'm looking at gains, I think a lot of people are too caught up in the fact of, hey, it's the market cap. The market cap is what matters. The market cap is just an equation. So if Dragon created a coin today called Dragon Coin and minted 1 trillion tokens and bought one token for $1, the market cap of that token would be 1 trillion. Doesn't matter about the liquidity of the token.
Correct. I'm 20x up already on Dragon's Coin.
Exactly. See, so no, I think what happened here is more of a liquidity ratio. It's something that happened within the liquidity of the UST and the Luna, which actually caused the market cap or the value of the price per token to be brought down. That's just my theory. I don't know how much liquidity was involved, but whenever you remove liquidity, which is a buy and a sell on both ends, that's why DEXs have became extremely popular, is because like when you look at the stock market, you're able to buy a stock and sell a stock whenever it wants. It's because you have someone providing liquidity on both ends, meaning that person has $1 million on the sell end, $1 million on the buy end, and people in between can literally liquid buy and sell as long as, you know, it stays within that actual value. But if you take all the liquidity, so do the X's go with it. Is there an easier way to explain that, Dragon?
Basically, it's liquidity is like basically all the economic energy that's in the token, and there has to be liquidity both in the pool and on the exchange side for it to function, because the exchange does have to pay out the liquidity, but it also has to be able to back it up with liquidity. So on both ends, nobody's turned over and it just operates and works. Now with stocks, they can shut it off at any time. That's the difference. If it's centralized, they can shut it off at any time. A DEX, they can't shut it off at any time because it's decentralized, and that's the benefit.
But when there's no liquid, there's no liquid. So there's always going to be bad actors. And I think you touched on the fact that people that actually took a short position on this 2 days before, was that CB that brought that up? There were people that took a short position on Luna that made millions of dollars. Was I incorrect in that statement? Or was that Bitcoin that they took?
So basically what happened, this is allegedly, and we don't know if it's fact or not, but as far as we can tell, several sources are saying the same things. But essentially what happened is some institutional investors, allegedly BlackRock and Citadel, took out a loan from Gemini for 100,000 Bitcoin. Not dollars, that's Bitcoin. So that's like billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin that they borrowed from Gemini. And then they turned around and talked to Do Kwon, which is one of the owners or founders of Terra Luna. And they said, hey, do you want to buy 25,000 Bitcoin? Right? So 25,000 Bitcoin, not dollars, Bitcoin. And Do Kwon's like, yeah. And then they wanted UST at a discounted rate, so that they'd make a little bit of profit by buying so much UST, which caused UST to mint. So after that happened, they took the other BTC and dumped it, totally wrecking the market, and more importantly, wrecking those pools of money that help support UST, as we discussed before.
So it doesn't matter if it was BlackRock or Citadel. The fact is, there is someone that took advantage of this. That's all that really matters.
Right. There was an attacker. There's no doubt about it. There was an attacker, allegedly BlackRock and Citadel. We don't know if it was actually them or not. But there was an attacker that did this. Allegedly.
And since they are paired, and UST, guys, is something that is supposed to be an algorithmic stable asset, meaning it pairs itself to the dollar over time based off of Luna itself, which is paired to it, and they work within smart contracts within each other, right? A smart contract is essentially something that is a tokenization of an asset, meaning you can add taxes to the asset, you can make the asset do miracles. Honestly, smart contracts are something that is what makes blockchain beautiful, but it's also something that hurts blockchain in the long run because we don't know how to securely provide it in a secure way. It seems like it happens over and over. Elephant. I mean, I can go on and on about smart contracts that have allegedly been attacked, right?
Well, you're absolutely right. It may be a cover-up. It may not be. Who knows? But all we know is it caused the death spiral, and now Luna investors are out everything they invested.
And it's not like you can go to the bank. If you go to a bank and they're running out of money, you go in there and you want $1, they can print the dollar and give it to you. But with this, you can't print $1 to fix anything. So if you look at it like that.
No, it's very true. It's all a mindset at that point, right?
Right.
Like,
yes.
We're in blockchain, understanding that I feel so. I mean, these guys were holding an asset that was worth $120 per coin. So, and it went down to not two. So people lost a lot of money based off of either the lack of knowledge or the fact that these smart contracts just weren't operating properly.
Could you imagine having a stake in that and just watching your money go and there's nothing you can do about it?
I'm sure they sold. I mean, I think Dragon's right. I think it caused a downward spiral of absolute panic. I mean, RSI and certain indicators that we actually use within the stock market gauge, our trends and this and that, Fibonacci is actually based off of mind and like mass. I can't think of the word, but RSI.
Well, it's just psychology and emotions.
Yeah. They're literally based off mass psychosis. So when someone starts selling, like, so if you bought Luna at $40, you're telling me if it's spiraling, you're not going to dump at 100. If you're paying attention, you're going to dump, and it just caused an absolute panic in the markets.
Exactly, and the other problem was
$1 billion asset.
Exactly, and the other problem was that you could trade one UST, pegged or not, into $1 worth of Luna. So everybody was panicking and then dumping their UST bags into Luna to recuperate the cost, thus causing Luna to be even more minted and exacerbated to the point of no return.
They didn't even think about taking it out of the ecosystem. They were trying to save the ecosystem, which further caused the ecosystem to fail more. Right? I mean,
I think it was more of a panic than anything else because they wanted their dollar value back, but they didn't. At the time, everybody didn't realize. Oh, well, if I do that, then I lose the value anyway because the token price is going down.
Luna a blockchain, or is it something that sits? Is it a layer 2? I think it's a blockchain, correct?
No, yeah, it's a layer 1. Right. It's Terra Labs is a whole ecosystem layer 1. Yeah.
And so UST would be their layer 2, which is their stable asset built upon their layer 1, correct?
Exactly.
Which interacted with each other. So yeah, okay. So when you talk about Bitcoin, right, guys? Bitcoin is a layer 1. Ethereum is a layer 1. Ripple is a layer 1. These are actual blockchains with their own addresses. BSC layer 1, right? So yeah, these are things you also have to think about whenever it comes to it. So these were literally built for each other, but somehow we're manipulated in a way to completely probably change a lot of people's lives for the negative and the positive. But I would assume, just like everything else in life, it was the 1%ers that gained and the little man that lost.
Pretty much, and they just saw a system that they could exploit just to do it and to crash the market just for a short, causing Bitcoin to go to record lows. And now Luna had to dump most of its Bitcoin reserves and now only owns 313 Bitcoin left in their reserves.
How much did it
So
own before?
it's mission critical. Let me just fact check myself real quick. It's on their Twitter. They just reported their current pool status. If you just go to their main Twitter, let me just verify this real quick.
I mean, if y'all don't think this is big news, guys, this is massive news. Like, you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars worth of economic energy that went to somewhere, and where the fuck did it go? Not anyone that crazy.
So according to their Twitter, the Luna Foundation Guard, as of Saturday, May 7th, they were holding 80,394 BTC. And that has dwindled down to 313. Meaning they liquefied over...
Do the math. Guardian,
they liquefied just over 80,000 Bitcoin to try to save UST and some Luna liquidity.
You're talking over 80,000 Bitcoin is now gone because clearly it's the most liquid asset, but they were taking advantage of to a point to the tune of 80,000 Bitcoin, worth roughly $30,000 a piece. I mean, if anyone wants to rough out that math, I mean, just add a bunch of zeros.
So about $2.4 billion in liquid capital.
Billion, correct?
Billion with a B.
Yeah, not million, guys. Billion.
Billion.
And I think it comes down to, smart contracts and liquidity. I really do. It was something that was taken. I think you went a little further on the insinuation of there was another protocol named Anchor that you believe was a pyramid scheme or something like that was attacked almost purposely.
I don't know. It was allegedly. It's technically not a Ponzi, but basically what Anchor does is it allows its stakers to get 20% returns.
Just like Hex, right? Hex allows people to get 40% returns for locking up their coins.
Right, and people are in disbelief because they don't believe them, but the attackers knew that Anchor could not repay the people using the protocol. So that they use that exploit as well in the entire ecosystem to cause Luna to crash.
Right, because there was more than just one or two assets that were paired with Luna because it's a layer 1. I'm sure there was a lot of decent assets that were paired with it that went down with it. Like quite a few. I don't know the Luna platform or the Luna blockchain, but I can tell you right now that there were more than a few assets that were paired with it. And since you're paired to an asset that goes down 99%, followed by 99%, the asset that you hold with it goes down just the same.
I mean, I feel bad for everybody long in Bitcoin, I'll tell you that. Imagine how many longs were liquidated.
Well, I took a few short positions out myself, so
you gotta trade smart. You gotta minimize your risk. Make sure your stop losses are set.
They're like the risk that people take for being here. If you don't understand it yet, you're probably in the wrong game.
So now that we know what happened, how does it affect all of us? I mean, that Luna crash completely destroyed BTC. It sent us in such a downward spiral that it's going to be very hard to recover from. And I think this is the landmark that will cause the bear market until we go to the halving. Until the halving starts, this is it. I think so. I think BTC is going to 15K after this. So this whole crash is going to lead us into the next bear market, in my opinion. So now the question lies, where is Terra Luna now, and what are they gonna do to all of their investors, everybody who's been supporting them through this crash, through their complete and utter demolition of the ecosystem? So now what's happening is Do Kwon has shut down the offices, his entire legal team has quit on him, and now he owes $78 million to the South Korean government. And that's not even including everyone who wants to sue him for all of their losses. So let's take a look. So this is their main Twitter, right? They seem to be on the 2.0 trend. They can kind of show their bias, and they don't want to burn the Luna supply. They just want to do a fork. Now the problem with doing a fork is all those people won't be compensated what they lost. Probably most of what they lost is gone. So they want a burn so that they have a chance at getting remotely what they lost. So we're going to scroll down here. So this is proposition 1299, right? That passed, re-enabled the IBC, but unfortunately they couldn't do it due to some technical issues. So now they got to redo the vote here. So now their current proposal is 1623 for the Terra ecosystem revival plan. If you are staked or a validator, please go vote. This matters. This can make a difference. So go vote. This is your money on the line. So here's Watcher Guru, right? They have the latest on everything. They pick up pretty much everything right on the dot here, and they're credible, in my opinion. So I grabbed these couple from what they've shared on Twitter. So this is the block. Terraform Labs legal team resigns after UST collapse. That's insane. They must have known that they were completely screwed because of the backlash that was about to incur. They didn't want to be on that trend. I mean, if I was on the legal team, I wouldn't want to be on that trend either. So honestly, I don't blame them for this. That's just gone. They're gone. All right, they totally left Terraform Labs completely in the dust. And now, after that article came out, this one came out. This is Watcher News. Terraform Labs owes $78.5 million in taxes to South Korea's government. $78.5 million to their government. Now, if we look back on what they have left in the reserves, this is what it was here as of May 7th. Look at all of that money. Right? Look at all of that money. Now, if we continue to scroll down, this is what they have left. They had 80,000 BTC up here. Now, they only have 313 BTC left. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Look at their supply. It's pretty much nothing compared to what they had before. Nothing. How are they supposed to pay their debts off? How are they supposed to provide liquidity for you guys? How are they supposed to refund everybody? It just seems like they gave up. I don't know. That's my hot take. Do Kwon closes his labs. The legal team quits. Jump ship. And now it's up to the DAO to vote on a viable solution for everyone who lost money on Terraform Labs. So in conclusion, should you even touch Luna? No. They were supposed to be a entire ecosystem of stablecoins, and they couldn't even do UST. So don't touch it. If you have the opportunity to get your money back, get your money back. Get it out. Make sure you're paying attention. We're going to be following Luna closely on our Telegram. I post all the latest stuff on our Telegram in the announcement channel. So all of those links are down below. All of the links to the articles I talked about today are going to be in the description below. And I sincerely feel so bad for all of the people who lost all of that money on Luna and in the in the Terra ecosystem. So with that, guys, those are my thoughts on Terra, Luna, and everything. Please subscribe. Please like to see more content like this. We're a new channel. Everything helps. Thanks, everybody. That's Luna for you.